going on, good people? What is going on? Welcome back to another episode of Just a Fan Podcast, where you got a couple of guys that are fans that know a whole lot about football. So, as you already know, you're talking to me. This is Tris TV, aka Mr. Big Mouth, aka Gift with the Gab. Over to my, make sure I get this right, over to my left side here, as you already know, we say it all the time, the man, the myth, the legend,
Nope.
Mr. Steve White. Let's give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope.
Steve White,
Nope.
ladies and gentlemen.
Appreciate it. What's going on?
And then to my right side, as you can see, the football NFL encyclopedia in the flesh, Mr. Brandon Williams. Let's give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's see here. Negative Ghost Rider, but thank you anyway.
And uh, and before we get into it, we actually have a good surprise for you guys. We actually have our this is our first guest.
First guest. First guest of the season.
Yes, sir.
First guest. Now let me give a little backstory while I send him the link so he can do what he gotta do. Let me get a little backstory about this guy. First of all, we all have a little group chat that we talk on. We talk NFL throughout the year. We're talking college, combine, NFL, during the all-season training camp, mini camp, all that.
There's no
Preseason, regular
off-season.
season. There's no off-season for us. We're always talking about NFL football. And this is one of the most... How can I describe him? I mean, you talking about a full-fledged
Passionate.
character.
Ignorant.
Listen.
Well, wise.
But knows his. Listen, he knows his stuff, but he's going to give it to you in the most entertaining way possible. And when I say entertaining, I mean many a time you just got to sit back. You just got to sit back and enjoy what you're about to hear. So, without further ado, and let me make sure I have him set up. Without further ado, let me make sure to introduce you guys to Mr. Eric Wright, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, listen, Mr. Pandemonium himself, Mr. Eric Wright. What's up, man?
What's going
Man,
on?
what's good? What's good, fellas? What's here? I just want to let you know that I came in here with a bottle of oil, cooking oil, and a whole thing of cornmeal because I'm going to fry Kyle Shanahan's behind up. I don't care that we won the game. We came too close to losing the game because he want to be stupid. But we're going to talk about other stuff too, and I got my picks for the week as well.
Raw.
Okay.
This man is just raw, period. Y'all better be ready.
Listen, we're going to go ahead and get right into it since we got Mr. Pandemonium himself in here. Let's get into it. Let's talk about some of these games from last week, and then we'll go over the news of the NFL this week, and then we'll talk about some of the games coming up for this week, as well as Eric does have his picks of the week that he always shows us every week. So we're going to talk about those. So let's go ahead. We're going to dive into some of these games. Let's get it out the way. Let's get this one out the way right now. Okay. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Washington football team 27-20. Okay, Dak Prescott was 22 of 39 for 211, one touchdown, two interceptions. Taylor Heineke had a piss poor performance, 11 of 25, 122, one touchdown, one interception. Ezekiel Elliott, 12 carries for 45 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 7 receptions for 61 yards. We're dealing with Terry McLaurin in concussion protocol right now. Taylor Heineke as an injured elbow and injured knee. But the highlight of the game, the highlight of the entire game was the soon-to-be named Defensive Player of the Year / Defensive Rookie of the Year, Micah Parsons, the all-world defender, rookie defender for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm trying to pull up his personal stats.
I don't know. I think Randy Gregory's tip interception was probably the most impressive in my opinion. as far as play, as far as defensive play.
Listen, I understand where you're coming from in that regard, but let's be clear. Micah Parsons is the star
Oh,
of
absolutely.
everything that y'all got going on right now.
Brandon, are you ready to go? Or I think Brandon might have been alluding to this last week a little bit.
Hey, listen, go ahead, man. I'm just gonna take all. I'm gonna take all the hits, man. I'm gonna
All
just.
right, Steve, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. Okay, so aside from defense, listen. This is probably the first win I've ever experienced Dallas have against Washington where I wasn't jumping for joy and talking trash. Because
Okay.
number one,
Rightfully so.
Washington was super banged up. And Dak didn't play good, man.
I was
You know,
like,
and go ahead, Eric.
I'm just saying, like the right now, and first of all, let me preface this with saying I am a moderator of the I Hate the Dallas Cowgirls page on Facebook. However, I do deal in reality. I hate the hell out of Dallas Cowboys, but I keep it 100. Dallas's strength has always been their ability to move the ball, whether it's on the ground or in the air, and the weakness has always been the defense. You know, and right now, game recognized game, and y'all offense looking kind of unfamiliar.
Dude, my thing was it's been happening. I don't know what happened after when Dak sat against the Minnesota Vikings. Every game he's been playing terrible. Every game. He gave a pick six to Washington late. Threw another interception before that. Making bad decisions, man. I'm happy we won the game, but moving forward, offensively, how Zeke's been playing too, I'm not very confident. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead, Brandon.
Okay, yeah. So Steve pretty much covered everything for the offense. Let me cover the defense. Um, yes, Parsons is now the straw that stirs the drink in that defense. When Gregory was out and Lawrence was out, he pretty much held that defense. He kept that defense going as much as he could until they got back. Now that the horses are back, you're going to see what they're going to look like. And the bad thing about a lot of teams in the NFL is they don't have a good offensive lineman. So, you know, you're going to watch Lawrence beat right tackles. You're going to watch Gregory beat left tackles. You're going to see Parsons flip both sides and blitz up the middle. Neville Gallimore took Washington center, walked him backwards into Tyler Heineke, and both players got hurt at the same time. Okay? So, and the Cowboys play the Giants this coming Sunday, and Giants' offensive line is pretty much just as bad. So, and also I just found out that Daniel Jones is out, so Mike Glennon is a statue. He's gonna get sacked 5 or 6 times this game coming up. But
Mike Glennon does not belong in the Pop Warner, let alone.
He can't play a Pop Warner.
that's what I'm saying. He's gonna get sacked 6 times. He probably throw 3 interceptions this game as well. All I'm saying is Dallas defense is legit. The secondary has some holes outside a couple of players, but other than that, Dallas defense is something for them to hang their hat on.
Sure.
Now I gotta beg to differ on that. I think Dallas defense has vastly improved from last year because basically y'all were a sieve last year, but this year it has improved. However, the back end is still in question, and when they see top flight, highly elite offenses when they get to the playoffs, that's why I feel like they're gonna be a one and done team when they get to the playoffs. It's gonna be that back end is going. Yeah, you got Diggs over there on one side, but Diggs can't cover the other parts of the field.
Yeah.
And we all know that Anthony Brown is a patient in the Shriners Burn unit. Right? I'm speaking from experience. I know because I got 2 corners over there in San Francisco right now. They look like Freddy Krueger. Okay. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, so I know what a toasty corner look like.
Oh,
Right? Anthony Brown is one of them.
I know Anthony Brown won him, and Jordan Lewis ain't been too much better in his career either.
Oh yeah, he wild untamed trash. Yeah.
And wow, and the thing is, the way Dak has been playing, he can't really. So if we go against a high power offense and they're putting up points, the way Dak has been playing, he can't match those points.
And that's true.
Now, week 1 through 5 or 6, sure, I put Dak up against anybody. But this past month, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, your defense is saving you right now. And fortunately, this week coming up, y'all playing a JV team again. I'm not gonna say no. Washington had too many issues. They're not really a JV team. Washington, they still y'all reigning division champs until further notice. But come on, man, it's the Giants, man. It's the Giants.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, and if y'all don't stomp a mud hole and they behind and walk it dry, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, they are a hot mess, man. Danny Dimes is out. And let's be honest, if he was starting, I would still say in my picks right here, this is one of my lead pipe locks for the week. Like my picks this week is either somebody got to win this because y'all are both terrible, or it's a overwhelming lead pipe lock. Every game this week is like that.
Yeah,
because either both teams are pathetic, or it's a pretty good team playing a pathetic team, and there's no like, oh wait, let me see, because I looked at it and there's no like, oh wait, let me see type games right now. So
you're right about that. Looking through the list, and we actually had this situation I think about 2-3 weeks ago where it was like either really good, like a few good matchups, or you just blowouts. You knew were going to happen.
Well, I like you and I want you game. Felice Johnson up in there, man. So yeah, man, it's like hey man, the Jets playing the Dolphins, bro.
Right.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that's a terrible game.
And even though the Dolphins are a little bit better this year, it's still the Jets versus the Dolphins, man.
Yeah, the Jets are just they in rebuild mode. They're not. This is not Rex Ryan's Jets in his first 2 years as head coach.
Yeah.
That game we don't even have to discuss because it's just both of those teams just ain't going nowhere fast.
And I'm finna throw up game. The Texans versus the Jags.
Oh God.
That's the barf bag bowl, man. Come on, man.
Yeah. And they're gonna be both of them starting rookies, Davis Mills and but it's not Trevor Lawrence's fault that he's bad. It's Urban Meyer, and Urban Meyer need to go.
That's another topic for discussion.
I never thought I'd feel more bad for a player than I did for Andrew Luck when he was with the Colts.
Right.
But I feel bad for Trevor, man. I feel bad for Trevor Lawrence. I mean, we were talking about this dude. Well, not we, but people were talking about this dude being a generational talent. How do you make a generational talent look that bad? I mean, you just look god awful. And go ahead.
Yeah, it's like you have coaches that come from college and go to the NFL ranks. It's usually going to be feast or famine. They're either going to do really well, like a Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
They're gonna fail egregiously, like a Steve Spurrier and now a Urban Meyer.
Or Lou Holtz.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh, Lou Holtz. Yeah. And then they go back to college and they do great.
Yeah.
Chip Kelly, terrible, terrible. Just like Charles Barkley, terrible, just terrible. I mean, that's Urban Meyer has shown that he don't need to be coaching above the college ranks. Nick Saban showed he does not be Nick Saban is having a great career on the college level, but when he came to the NFL, dear God,
look, man, it's all about knowing your lot in place. Before we move on to other teams, I'm gonna stick with Washington, man. The Eagles on Sunday. That game's gonna say something. Believe it or not, that game's gonna say something.
It's not gonna say anything.
It really isn't no, because hey Steve, Washington's having a lot of
scabs.
They have a lot of COVID problems. You saw they have COVID problems with against us.
What I'm saying is, whoever loses that game probably won't make the playoffs, and whoever wins the game is going to be in the last seed.
But we're going to lose because we're going to literally be putting scabs on the field.
Yeah,
I didn't say it. You said it.
Jonathan Allen's out. Tim Settle is out.
Terry McLaurin is going to probably be out. Kendall Fuller's probably going to be out.
The way Terry McLaurin hit the ground, like, okay, you remember how he elevated to try to catch the ball? When he came down, he landed on the back of his head. And I saw the pain in his face. And I said, if this guy, I wouldn't be surprised if he misses maybe the rest of the season.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I'd say maybe 2 games.
At least 2 games, but maybe.
It's equivalent to that hit that when CeeDee Lamb made that backwards diving catch and his head hit the ground. So and was he out for like a game or 2?
Mm-hmm.
Just 1.
Yeah.
He was out for like 2.
See what. Yeah, we got to see what the independent neurologist is gonna say.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of pissed off about that because I got Terry McLaurin on one of my fantasy teams. It's like,
you better bench him. I'm telling you.
I lost this week because Terry went out the game.
Listen, I'm not, and people say, they're like, oh, Tristan, you're not a real Washington fan. And Listen, I am. I'm as real as it gets, and I'm telling you,
I would never question it either.
I'm telling you, it's some scabs that we putting out there on this Sunday. Like the Eagles should win this game.
Yeah,
man, I picked Washington to win, but just now with that information you just gave me about all those guys being out, I'm going to change my pick. But man, that's a topic. That's a whole nother topic for another story. Talking about people that accuse you of not being real fans because you're critical of the team, and those people are those delusional fans. I got accused of being not faithful because I have no faith in not being faithful. I have no faith in Kyle Shanahan's consistency with his play calling.
Right.
And like, no, I love the Niners, but we be doing dumb stuff.
Exactly.
For real. There's like about 4 or 5 games we should have won.
It's like you know your team. You know your team.
And if it had been for dumb play calling, we'd be in that thing. We almost gave this one away, and they turned the ball over 3 freaking times. I'm looking at the film right now.
But let me ask you, Eric. So, how far do you think? Okay, let's say if Kyle Shanahan does get together as far as his play calling, right? I know you guys are super banged up. How far do you think Sanford can go in the playoffs? Because it looks like the way you guys been playing, who you have lined up, that you're going to make it. That's what it looks like right now.
Best case scenario, if Kyle Shanahan goes and visits a proctologist and has his cranium removed from his rectum, then I'm going to say we're going to make the playoffs and we'll be done in the wild card round.
That's a rated G. That's a rated G version.
I would say it on Marco.
I'll take that.
Y'all know how I would say it on Marco. I'm doing my best here, y'all.
I'll take it.
Y'all, to y'all at home, I'm doing my best. Y'all really don't know. The people that know me that's watching this, y'all know I'm doing my best, right? Okay.
He's telling the truth, guys. Y'all better listen. You better listen.
So if he removes his cranium from his rectum and calls plays like he knows how to do it, I can say we're 1 and done in the wild card round because who we would have to see, we're not prepared. I don't care how you scheme it. They're going to torch us because we're down to cornerback number 4, 5, and 6. Okay? All right. Josh Norman is equivalent to that juice that runs out of the back of a dumpster at the back of a fish market in Texas in July. Okay? That's just how trash he is. Okay? Ambry Thomas does not know the difference between his butthole and a hole in the ground. Okay? Diamador Lenoir is sometimes he's 1 minute he makes a great play, the next minute it's like, what are you doing, son?
Okay.
But he's a rookie. So, like, our corners are going to keep us from going as far as we need to go. The front 7 is, oh my God. Nick Bosa came off that ACL injury like he ain't never had an ACL injury. He's at sack 13 or 14 now.
Yeah.
We lost Javon Kinlaw for the year, but the other ancillary defensive tackles have have been just playing phenomenal. Now Eric Armstead's stealing money, but I'm gonna get that's another topic. That man, somebody don't kick him off the team, kick him off the planet. I'm serious, but I can't stand that dude. But you got guys like Arden Key who have revitalized their career in San Francisco because he was considered a bust
Tennessee.
no, the Raiders. He's with the
That's right.
Raiders.
Yes, right. Yeah. I'm thinking
So
somebody
he's
else.
revitalized his career. You got other guys that are playing. That front seven's playing really well, barring injury. Fred Warren is not. He fell off a little bit from his All-Pro year last year, but he's still playing at a Pro Bowl level. Then Aziz Al-Shaair comes out of nowhere. Well, if you're a real Niners fan, you knew who he was when he came in like the 6th, 7th round. But he's playing well, even though Dre Greenlaw's out. He stepped in for Dre Greenlaw and is playing fantastic. But then he's got an elbow. He hurt his elbow this week. So injuries, I'm willing to bet because I'm a Niners fan. We're gonna have a COVID thing too, and in the corner. So to answer your question, Steve, roundabout ways, the first round.
I got you.
We done after the first round. Yeah,
I got you.
yeah. Plus Jimmy Garoppolo. Don't get me started on food child.
Well, let's go forward. I want to make sure. Wait, so what teams did y'all cover? I want to make sure I don't hit anybody that in there.
So we covered Dallas, Washington. We covered we talked about Dallas against the Giants a little bit coming up this Sunday.
I'm gonna both these two boys.
We cover. We didn't say anything too much about it, but we said the Dolphins played the Jets this Sunday. So we didn't really cover games in the past. I mean, this past weekend. So go ahead.
Okay, cool. So I want to talk about this. I wrote this down in my notes on Sunday because I said I really want to go over this. Can somebody explain to me what's going on in Carolina? What's going on with the benching and putting back in? This isn't college football. This isn't college football, Matt Rule. It's not. Then you have the post game conference. You talking about we're going to play Cam and we're going to play PJ and Sam Darnold and Sam Darnold might be coming back, so he might be a factor. This is not college football.
Okay, so this is not the 1970 Cowboys where Tom Landry went back and forth between Roger Staubach and Craig Morton.
White.
No, Craig Morton. Danny White wasn't around yet.
Who is Craig Morton?
Yeah, 1970.
Oh, 70, yeah.
1970, yeah.
It was like Craig Morton.
I really want to understand, what is happening.
But you know what? And I'm gonna say this. Eric just said it. A lot of college coaches don't know what they're doing once they get into the NFL, and Matt Rule could end up being another example.
Listen, man, I don't mean to be shady. I don't watch. I don't pay attention to them. I'm sorry. I'd rather watch another team than Carolina, than the Jets, and a few other teams, man. I don't even know. I don't know what's happening. Ever since 2 weeks ago.
No, I pay attention to the Jets a little bit because Robert Saleh is a head coach. He was the Niners defensive coordinator. Did a phenomenal job. We were top 10 defense almost every year he was there. And I watched the Jets a little bit. And I don't expect much from them this year because, one, this is his first head coaching gig. Two, he got to get all his pieces together. So, yes, they're going to be trash this year. But as long as they're recyclable trash, you can do something with that. When you become dumpster juice, there's nothing you can do with that. I mean, even the rats and the roaches won't even swim in it. Like John Thorman, he's dumpster juice. But I digress. But I'm just saying that the Jets, they're gonna be all right. They got the coach in. They just got to get the pieces in place because that was like purgatory. People got drafted by the Jets.
Yeah, facts.
Trying to find a way to get out as soon as they get there. It's like I gotta go, man. I got drafted by who?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go fall down these stairs right now.
Let me punch this back to Carolina and ask this question. Any one of you guys can answer. Do you think that Cam Newton should be left in the game, even if he's struggling, to try to see if he can dig his way out of it? Because for me, I'm looking at a cat. You just got back in. You don't know Matt Rule from Adam, so I know you don't know this offense that well yet. I don't care how smart you are. I know you don't know it that well yet, where it's in the fabric of your DNA. It's a reason why there's an off season. It's a reason why there's OTAs and minicamp. There's a reason because you're installing a playbook that you ain't never seen, and you're trying to master it in basically on the fly. So I know that I don't look at it as like a lack of talent. I'm looking at it as a lack of knowledge of that playbook and who he's playing with.
Well, let me. So when in the NFL so first of all, you're a starting quarterback for a reason. There's usually a vast difference in talent level from starter to second string.
Absolutely.
So when does it work out for you to take your starting quarterback out, have the backup come in, and win the game for you? How often does that happen, if it does? Two,
Right.
as a quarterback, confidence in the psyche is everything, man. You let Cam play the whole game. If he loses, he loses. That next week of preparation.
That's me.
The next week he's grinding, he's focused. You take him out, he's like, all right, he's kind of half in, half out because he knows that you don't believe in him. So how much do you expect to get out of him if he knows you don't believe in him?
But this Sunday was even more egregious because he played the first quarter.
Yeah.
You benched him in the second quarter, and then you bench Walker at halftime to bring Cam back in the game. I was just like, what?
I don't know what he's doing.
You got to pick and choose, man.
I'm gonna put it like this. All right. So you can tell by the memorabilia all behind me in my man cave. I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm gonna take a line from famous master Yoda. Try not, do, or do not. There is no try. You gonna ride with Cam Newton, or you ride with PJ Walker, who
right.
I feel like is a very talented and underrated player.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I'm Matt Rule, I'm riding PJ Walker the rest of the way because the best quarterback in Carolina right now is PJ Walker.
But the thing is,
the most talented is Cam Newton. However, the best quarterback for that situation right now is PJ Walker
because he knows the playbook.
Healthy, and that's been exactly. He's healthy. He's been to training camp, and he knows the playbook. So I mean, I ride with that guy.
And the coach has to make a decision, man. Make a decision and go with it, dude. He flip flopping. He trying different people out. Like, dude, do you know what you want to? Do you know what you want?
What do you want?
He don't know. He don't know what he wants to do. You know,
the indecisiveness of a leader will make you lose your troops.
Yes.
So let me ask you a question. And here's another thing that I think that's different for the NFL this year. These last 2 weeks of the regular season, you can interview guys for coaching positions. Okay, that's the first year they allowed this. If Carolina gets in the mix with this, do you think Matt Rule lasts the end of this after the season?
Yeah, they'll give him another season because the confusion all year, he can make an excuse and say, "Well, I lost Sam Darnold." He can make an excuse that Cam was just coming back in. I lost Christian McCaffrey, who was maybe 70-75% of my offense.
Yeah.
And I barely had him all year. So there's excuses that he can make.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's excuses that he can make that would warrant at least another year.
Facts. Or half a year.
They're going to have to answer the quarterback position. And that's what's going to get him in trouble next year because they're going to look at it like, well, we still could have been going hard for Deshaun Watson. You said that Sam Darnold, you can make that work, Matt Rule. You can make that work.
You made your bed, now sleep in it.
Now sleep in it. So next year, when it comes to that quarterback position, that quarterback room, that's going to be very, very key. Very key.
Yeah, I agree. So since we talking about coaches on the hot seat, y'all want to talk about Mr. Meyer down in Duval?
Oh no, he not in the hot seat. He
out of the seat.
He got
he got flames around him.
I mean, he's surrounded by. I mean,
he already walked the Green Mile.
Look. What was it? Saturday morning, I woke up and I saw the article, and I had to tell you guys. I said, look, there's no way in the world Urban Meyer should remain head coach after all this. Marvin Jones, who is a quiet locker room guy is ready to walk out the facility, and the coaching staff, rest of the coaching staff had to go catch him and say, "Hang around for a minute," and then
You
and
oh go
then
ahead, Rick.
and then you sit there, you tell your coaching staff that you hired them and said, "You guys are losers. Show me your resume." And I'm like, the
You know what I mean?
disrespect,
Yeah.
the disrespect to your own coaching staff. And like we said earlier, Trevor Lawrence is looking like trash,
Listen.
and it's terrible.
If Trevor Lawrence would have walked out, Urban Meyer would have been fired.
That
Facts.
If
day.
the franchise QB
That day.
would have
That
been
day, how
would have
about
been
that
out,
second? That second,
he'd have been gone. He'd have been
Mhm.
gone.
he wouldn't even gotten into the office to say you're fired. He'd have gotten a text message.
And that's the thing. Trevor Lawrence don't realize that power that he got. He
Yep.
can really set the tone for next year and be
Yep.
like, "Oh, I can't work with him."
Nope. That's true.
He gone
And
immediately.
Oh, he may know, but he could be a class act. He seems like a decent guy, so he's probably
Yes,
like,
yes.
let me be professional. You know what I'm saying? Let me just play through it.
What I would hate to see though is somebody as talented as Trevor Lawrence get wasted.
Mm.
Yes.
A bum coach who who doesn't know how to develop the guy. That's
Yes.
like I see that I watched him all the way through college because as soon as he started right after Deshaun Watson left Clemson, I was like, okay, who is Sunshine from Remember the Titans? What? Oh, he balling. Okay. Oh, he ain't no little dude either. I was like, he's 6'5". Wait a minute. And he played really well. So I was like, he's gonna be all right in the NFL. Then I said, damn it, he went to Jacksonville.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that baffles me for people that talk about Urban Meyer. What quarterback did Urban Meyer ever develop?
You know what? You know what? Guess what? Guess what? I was just going to say that because Eric mentioned in our group what offensive player outside of Ezekiel Elliott, Michael Thomas,
It's just like
Terry McLaurin has been a good NFL player from the Ohio State offense.
the people that have been under Urban Meyer that flourished in the NFL, they were going to be good anywhere. They were already that all world. The Percy Harvins of the world, the Aaron Hernandez of the world. Some of these cats, they're just gifted. It didn't matter. Ezekiel Elliott, it didn't matter.
Yep.
They were just going to be good. He does not develop anyone well. You had Tim Tebow for 3 years. You see how that turned out. You never had a quarterback outside of Alex. Your most prized possession at quarterback position is Alex Smith. That is your one feather in your cap as far as quarterback development. And you barely developed him because he played the same way. It took Andy Reid to take him and say, "No, you need to play like this." Jim Harbaugh, I'm sorry. Jim
Now
Harbaugh had to take him and say, "No,
let me chime
play
in on
like
Alex.
this."
Let me chime in on Alex Smith. A lot of y'all may not know this, but Niners fans know this. Alex Smith never got a real good chance to develop when he was in San Francisco
No, he
because
didn't.
they changed offensive coordinators like draws.
Facts.
Yeah.
Mike Marsh, Norv Turner, Mike McCarthy, amongst others.
And they messed that boy up so bad.
So bad.
And it goes back to that age-old debate. Okay, the 49ers had the first pick. They could have taken
Aaron Rodgers.
Alex Smith. And it's like, basically, I tell people all the time, and that's somebody want to fight me about it, but I said it's the truth. I said, if the 49ers would have drafted Aaron Rodgers in that scenario, we would be looking at Aaron Rodgers like we're looking at Alex Smith.
Yes.
And if the Packers would have taken Alex Smith would probably still be playing right now doing what Aaron Rodgers is doing because they were what for talent.
Okay.
They were what. It was the situation. That's that nature.
It was situation. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a horrible situation in San Francisco.
And that's the thing where I'm saying where Urban Meyer, all of the players that were talented players coming from him, they were already all world talented players. But when it came to development, Braxton Miller had to change positions when he got into the league. JT Barrett became a career backup before ultimately being out of the league. Terrell Pryor had one little stint playing quarterback with the Raiders. He ended up, and he was an all-world athlete, but he still ended up changing positions, ultimately flaming out. You never heard of a fully developed player from under Urban's fingers that you say, okay, transfer to the NFL and say, okay, that's an Urban Meyer product. You never seen it. So I don't know where this thing comes from with him. This aura comes from with him. Just okay. I understand.
Well, it's not an aura.
Championship. It is.
No, it's not an aura. It's Jacksonville being desperate for a big name to sell some kind of ticket, to have some kind of headline.
Well, yeah,
That's what it's about. It's business.
What they did was, we're going to get Urban Meyer because of what he did at the University of Florida. So Jacksonville fans, all the Swamp fans, going to come and be in Jacksonville Stadium.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's bolster this. Let's get Urban to come get Tim Tebow, and we're going to put Tim Tebow at tight end. And
that's Travis Sham mockery there. Oh my God.
That was one of the worst things I've seen in NFL history.
It was a joke. It was a complete joke. And it was just like, and I'm a fan of let me be specific. I am a fan of Florida Tim Tebow. Big fan of Florida Tim Tebow. Loved him. Outside of that, no. So it's just like, you did all of this. You now see what your team is. You got, DJ Shark got hurt earlier in the season. Jerome Robinson is fed up with you. He might try to seek a trade during the offseason because you went and drafted Travis Etienne with a first-round pick where you could have used an offensive lineman. But you went and drafted a running back in the first round with Trevor Lawrence. You brought his buddy over, and then he got hurt during the offseason.
That was crazy. James Robinson was balling, seriously.
Balling.
You get a running back in the first round?
With a trash offensive line last year. And instead of taking the other first-round pick, because we knew you were taking Trevor, instead of taking the other first-round pick, maybe trading it to gather up a bunch of picks to get more players or get an offensive lineman, you chose a running back that you did not need. Even if they picked another wide receiver, I would have accepted it. You went and chose a running back that you did not need to pick.
Okay, so my thing on the Travis Etienne pick, and I think I got some friends of mine watching that are actually his family members, because a couple of my band boosters, they're cousins of Travis Etienne.
Shout out to y'all if y'all watching.
But basically, I want to play devil's advocate here on the logic of drafting him because Travis Etienne was kind of like a Cordero Patterson, Debo Samuel type of player.
Oh, I called him Alvin Kamara light.
Yeah, well, he can actually really run routes. But that being said,
he's no slouch.
He's no slouch. But that being said, what you're saying is correct. If you have an investment like a Trevor Lawrence, you need to protect him. First thing you
that investment.
That's
Absolutely.
the first thing. Then after that, then you give him some toys.
Yep.
Not the other way around. But you got to protect this guy first, and then you're going to get him some toys.
Yep.
Because realistically, he had some toys already there. They just didn't have a quarterback.
Because
that was
when you look at it, if you look at the offense, how the offense is run, what were they going to do with Travis? There's no creativity in this offense. So what were you going to do with him? Because he's a very unique player. He's very unique. I said it. I said he reminds me of Alvin Kamara. He's an Alvin Kamara light. That is, it's that you can just put him anywhere. You just put him anywhere and he'll do his thing. Put the ball in his hands, he'll do his thing.
Travis Etienne in New Orleans this year would be balling.
Would be killing right now.
Yeah, in New Orleans, in San Francisco.
In San Francisco.
Who else has a really creative offense?
Kansas City.
Kansas. Oh my God. The enemy would have. The enemy. They'd have had to. Oh God. They'd have had to just. I
would honestly even say the Rams. I believe if Sean McVay had a running back like that, you would see the old Sean McVay as far as run first offense to utilize that kind of weapon. I'm telling you. I understand your dismay. I agree with your dismay about him. But trust me, when Todd Gurley was at his apex, he gave Todd Gurley the ball. He fed him. And
that's what I don't understand about Sean McVay. Yeah, they got that win last night, but I'm just completely, and it's not because I'm a Niners fan. Anybody that's watching, the Rams are overrated.
Agreed.
Because Sean McVay, he has that Kyle Shanahan gene and don't know when to just run the ball. Yep. I got Matt Stafford. I want to fling it all over. Man, run the ball. Man.
Empty backfield, no offensive line.
Right. You got a 40-year-old
left tackle.
Mm-hmm. And you trying to keep doing that and watch Nick Bosa break him in half like we did the first time we played.
And that's gonna be LA's downfall.
Yep.
That's gonna be LA's downfall.
No, because and I said in that group chat, and I might have said on this show before, the Rams never replaced the left guard and center they lost after the Super Bowl loss to New England because they never drafted anybody, and they couldn't draft anybody because they trade picks for players, and they never addressed the offensive line. So empty backfield, no offensive line. Stafford is a he's not a statue, but he's not far from it, and he's gonna get hit a lot.
To be
Eventually,
honest, he struggled yesterday too. Kyler Murray in that offense just struggled more.
yep.
They just struggle more.
Right.
They just struggle more.
He was struggling early
Aaron
on.
Donald
Absolutely.
had a field day.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald had a field day. But let me say this going back to Jacksonville. If this offseason comes and goes and Urban Meyer is still the head coach, Jacksonville is going to riot.
They should.
They will riot. It's just no reason to keep the fact that what's his name? Khan? What's his first?
Shad Khan.
The fact that Shad Khan made a statement.
Khan or something like that.
He made a statement over the weekend talking about something. He's not going to make any rash decisions. He's not going to be emotional about his decisions with the offseason, with the coaching. Sir, you don't have to be. Just look at the year.
They're not going to riot.
Just look at what happened from the moment you signed him. He brought in a pedophile. He tried to tell you.
He brought in a racist.
He brought in a racist.
Yep.
You tried to tell your players and your staff that they would get cut or fired if they didn't take the vaccine. You try to bring in Tim Tebow and made people question thinking that Tim Tebow was going to take snaps from Trevor Lawrence, your number one pick. Like you don't have to be rational, Khan. You don't have to be emotional, Khan. Just look at the year and say, this ain't it.
He's not a leader.
You couldn't have envisioned this being what your team was supposed to be.
And you ready? He got Trent Baalke as a GM.
I forgot he has Baalke as a GM.
I'm through. That's all it is. You got Trent Baalke as a GM. I'm through. There's no more argument to be made right there.
Yeah, Trent Baalke.
You dropped the ball all the way.
Yep. Trent Baalke.
I don't understand. So I'm really, I don't know, man. I don't know. That really that watching that team play football really gives me a headache.
Well, and this is my last point. Jacksonville, they're not going to ride because that franchise is on life support. I'm not even being funny. They're in danger of one, Khan having to sell, or two, the team relocating. So
yeah,
they got bigger problems.
yeah, they do. Yeah, they
relocate to St. Louis.
That could be something. That could be something. Let's go ahead and tip on over to the Buccaneers versus the Bills with Josh Allen and Tom Brady. Now, Josh Allen had a game. Listen, Josh Allen was 36 of 54 for 308, 2 TDs and 1 touchdown. He ran for 109 yards on 12 carries and had another TD.
And an interception. He balled. He had a great game.
He balled out, man.
He had a great game. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the defensive injuries, but I said it the past couple of weeks. Jacksonville. It's on my mind for some reason. Buffalo, man, for some reason, again, in big games, they
don't play up.
They always choke, man. I don't know what it is, man. They cannot win big games, man.
Don't know.
It's the curse of the 90s Bills almost.
Right.
You whoop everybody's tail, getting to where you need to be, then you get to a big game. It's like, oh, we quit.
Yo, they are 7-6. Can you believe that? Buffalo 7-6 right now.
I didn't have them this bad off. And when I made my predictions for the year, I had them, winning the East.
I had them winning the whole AFC.
Everybody had them winning the AFC East. Yeah, no one saw New England doing this.
Not at all.
Especially with Eric's favorite quarterback. But Look, I'm gonna say this too. Buffalo's gonna have a problem when they get into the playoffs because they don't run the ball a lot, if at all, and their offensive line is also trash.
And here's the thing, y'all all know.
And I'm offensive line guy.
You all know the saying. For the playoffs, you gotta pack your defense and your running game.
And your run game.
Steve just talked about the defense, and Brandon just got to talk about the running game.
Yep.
And that's what they not doing.
Listen,
and no offensive line.
Brandon, I don't know if they're making the playoffs, man. I'm being real. I don't know.
And they might not. I
don't know if they are. They're 7-6. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 other teams that are 7-6 right now. And about 3 more teams that are about 1 game behind that record. I don't know. I don't know, man. That's crazy.
The running back on the Buffalo team that game, Singletary, had 4 carries for 52 yards in that game.
They don't run the ball well. We pay more Zach Moss. They don't run the ball well.
It's incredible.
They don't run the ball well.
It's incredible. It's like
they're relying too much on Josh Allen's arm.
Yep.
And on Stephon Diggs getting open.
Yep.
And that defense. They don't care about running.
The Bucs won that game. And it was in overtime. But let's be honest, if Buffalo's secondary was healthier, not Buffalo, excuse me. If the Buccaneers secondary was healthier,
it might have been a blowout.
It'd have been ugly. Because if I know all you gonna do is throw this ball, I'm gonna sit in this doggone cover 3.
I'm gonna say it every single week that we mention the Buccaneers. I'm gonna say it every single week. People are not paying attention to the fact that none of the injuries that the Bucs had were season-ending injuries. All these fools are going to come back for the playoffs. Like I don't think people are really understanding that, yo. All these players are going to come back for the playoffs.
Yep.
Fresh, no wear and tear.
Yep.
It's going to be a prop. The whole thing with Antonio Brown. Do you really think that Bruce Arians and them was probably upset that he got suspended for an extra game? You gave him an extra game to rest.
They gave him a bye month.
To rest. There was nothing else wrong with him. He was ready to go if he didn't get suspended.
And a player his age, getting that type of rest. Okay, we need you to be fresh for these few little playoff games. Okay, I can do that.
I can do that.
And not to mention you winning without him. So he's just extra. He's that fifth wheel in Houston that we have on the back of the cars, man. Fifth wheel, grill, candy.
Right.
They're about to get, the Buccaneers are about to get back their entire secondary that won the Super Bowl. I don't think people really understand that. Like that's why I still have the Bucs possibly getting there, because I'm just like, what do you mean? It's the same team. All it was they got injured at the first 2-3 weeks of the season, and none of them were season-ending injuries.
Yep.
What are you saying? It's the right time.
And the thing is, that's why this morning we were talking on Marco about I feel like the most dominant team right now, even if there are any, is still to me Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Because I don't trust Aaron Rodgers' toe.
Yep. He said it got worse.
Right, it's gotten worse. And then I don't trust Green Bay's choke gene in the NFC Championship game.
That's right.
They have a choke gene in the NFC Championship game.
Yep.
Like, I had a Green Bay Packer fan talking trash to me. I said, answer me a question. How many times have you beaten San Francisco in the playoffs during the Aaron Rodgers era? I'll wait.
Yeah.
He didn't want to fight me.
Because y'all played them how many times? 4 or 5 times?
I think like 4.
Yep.
In the playoffs?
Kaepernick whipped them twice. And then we beat them en route to the last Super Bowl we went to with Garoppolo. So,
that's 3.
I want to say it's 4. It's either 3 or 4. But yeah, I mean, and then there were other times I think we met them in the divisional round and beat them.
Right.
And won the championship. So like it's like 3 or 4 times. But just not harping on my team, just talking about Green Bay. They have a choke gene in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
It's like they'll ball out, get to the NFC Championship game in their house, and choke.
Yep. And there was a long time ago that Green Bay would rarely lose in the house in the playoffs, especially when it was cold outside.
Mm-hmm. That's Brett Favre's era. That's all Brett Favre right there.
Yeah, I know.
Brett Favre loved that playing in that weather,
Yep,
and,
sure
and
did.
it's just the team. When I say the reason why I say the Bucks is the similar reason. I don't I don't care what anybody says about the Cardinals. They're still young, so that's
Mm,
not experience is going to be what bites them. The Saints, who always used to give Tampa fits, they too injured to make any noise
Yep.
in the
into the
playoffs.
And they're a
Again,
whole different team now without Drew Brees,
they're not.
obviously.
Hey, hey, JL, if you're watching, I'm sorry. The Saints not going to make the playoffs, bro. Come
they're
on.
not. Well, no, but JL knows that. If we,
Yeah,
if he was to ask, he'd say, "Oh, I'm with you." You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Aaron Rodgers' toe. We don't know the stats with that. So we're not confident. We're not confident in that at all. The Seahawks, no, they're not going to do anything against Tampa with that defense and how their offensive line is
yeah, they
terrible.
they pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's not
You
happening.
said the Seahawks, they're not even gonna make the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. The the
They
49ers, y'all have the injuries still. So that's what's going on with the 49ers. So there's really no team in the NFC that I can be like, you know what? They might have their number.
Exactly.
what what's going to have to happen is Tampa Bay is going to have a game where they beat themselves. They
Yep.
have yet,
Yep.
they have to have
And
Tom
they've been
Brady
they've been
have a,
having those recently too.
yeah, and it's got to happen in the playoffs where they just completely off and nothing's in sync,
Yep.
and a team can come in and take advantage of it. But,
Penalties and turnovers.
right, that's
But
got
they
to
have to
happen.
really, really be off. Like
They have to.
when
Yeah,
it's different when it's playoff time to regular season time. He'd have to
That's true.
really, really be off.
And I hate that that's a thing,
And
but
that's
that's so true.
rare. It's
Playoff start,
rare for
he's a
playoff time to
different
be off.
guy, man. He locks in like no
He
other.
locks in. I don't know what it is, what place he goes to in his head, but he's a different beast in the
He
playoffs.
is. He is,
So
man.
that's hard. That's a tall order to ask. That's a tall order to ask is for anyone to beat Tom Brady in when it comes to a playoff run, especially
yep.
especially because I know he smells the blood in the water with that NFC conference. I know he looking around. He's like, oh, they are injured.
And
Oh,
he going
they're
for 8.
injured.
Or they inconsistent, like Dallas is inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. That's another one. Dallas is too inconsistent. So I can't say Dallas might be the team that can probably give them a shake. Y'all might, but y'all might not. You know what I'm saying? We don't know.
It depends on which offense shows up.
It depends what version of Dak shows up.
It's depending on which Dak shows
Yeah,
up.
that's yeah, yep.
And it has to be on Dak Prescott because right now Tampa Bay is like number one against the rush, so they gonna make Zeke and
Zeke already
Carter
gonna be out.
a non-factor. So
Which,
it's going to be on Dak Prescott home.
which is what happened week 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
We tried that running crap. It wasn't working. Dak threw the ball about 45 times,
Yep. Sure did.
and it was a shootout for the most part.
Yep.
So some games, are like that. But I don't see.
Yeah, right now, like
I
I
don't see
guess
that.
what Jamal was talking about, he's like, yeah, Green Bay. I say, nah, bro, it's Tampa. Right
It's
now, if you
Tampa.
have a dominant team in the NFC, it's Tampa.
It's Tampa.
They're gonna get healthy, and they're already kind of whooping tail. And I like the segue, if it's all right with you, Tristan, talking about the AFC, how the resurgence of Kansas City. All of
Yeah.
a sudden,
Yeah.
they were like, oh, Kansas City, and now all of a sudden, oh, really? Watch these 40-some points
Yeah.
on this division opponent that y'all thought was gonna make the playoffs.
Listen.
Watch this.
Steve been giving it to me every week, man, because Pat Mahomes
Hey,
been
I'm
making me
quiet
look
on
like
this topic, man. I'm quiet on this
Pat
topic.
Mahomes been making me look foolish since I said maybe it's me. Maybe it was me. Maybe he heard the show and he was like, oh, they won't be disrespectful. Like maybe it's my fault. I'm sorry, NFL. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
Tristan.
I'm
No, it's
sorry to
good, man.
every
You
sport.
listen. You changed the scope of the league, man. It's a good thing.
Hey man, I apologize. I jumped the gun a little bit. I jumped the gun a little too quickly. My bad. My bad. I mean, if
And
you got Josh Gordon to score a touchdown, I don't remember the last time I heard Josh Gordon's name in the end zone. Like that's
in the past, Kansas City was, I'm gonna throw to Kelsey and move the chains. I'm gonna throw this deep bomb to Tyreek Hill and get a touchdown. Okay, if Tyreek doesn't score, we're gonna be in the red zone. We're gonna throw to Kelsey, or either I'm gonna scramble. I'm Pat Mahomes. They're starting to realize, wait a minute, we got other guys that can make plays now. And then the defense say, wait a minute, we got a great offense. Let's take more chances at the ball and make some stops here. And now they're starting to realize we can win by spreading the wealth instead of just relying on people. And they're winning a different way now, as opposed to all Tyreek Hill having 200 yards. It ain't got to be that no more. Because they're like, wait, we can spread this out, and they ain't gonna know where it's coming from. And that makes them more dangerous than they were the year they won it.
For sure.
All right, so let me ask y'all a question. Are we going to have a Super Bowl rematch?
It's possible.
Chiefs and Bucks, that's possible.
It's very possible.
I want the Bucks and Patriots. I just want that so bad. Oh my God.
And here's the thing.
So badly.
Here's the thing about the Chiefs, because they can in the future, Tom Brady's going to retire at some point. We don't know when. Next few years.
They were talking about 45. 45 looking good, man. I don't know.
But listen, if you're a free agent, what's your number one destination?
Tampa.
If Tom Brady's not there anymore, I'm talking about.
Oh, Tom Brady's not there anymore? Green Bay?
I'll say them or Kansas City.
Wait a minute. Not Green Bay, because remember Aaron Rodgers is a free agent at the end of the year.
Oh, shoot. All right, Kansas City. You're right, Eric. Kansas City then. Yeah.
I think for the most part, I think a lot of people will prefer KC over a lot of other cities.
Especially since Patrick Mahomes is still young. Because how old is he? What, 26?
And he's locked in for 10 years.
Yes.
So these good veterans that want to win a ring, number one destination has to be Kansas City.
If sense.
Tom Brady's not in Tampa, yes.
Yes. But Brady going to be that man. Look, Brady going to be there another 2-3 years. At least another 2-3 years.
Y'all realize that Tom
he can play till
Brady,
50.
Y'all realize Tom Brady is in the MVP race?
Yeah, don't surprise me.
He's having one of his better 44 years old. He's having one of his better careers stat wise.
He knows how to take care of himself. He's doing something right.
Yep. I mean,
listen, man.
I'm telling you right now, if I was married to Giselle Bunchhausen, I wouldn't be thinking about football. I'm just saying right now, he like, hey, leave me alone, woman. I got business to take care of. But that's him. I don't know. But I tell you what he needs to do this next draft, regardless of where they land, they need to go draft a project quarterback
and just sit him.
I don't think it's Kyle Trask.
No,
I think they're gonna have to draft a project quarterback and let him
just sit him.
Yeah, well, Brady, when you're done, this kid's gonna be ready. But this kid don't have to play for 2-3 years. That's what made Aaron Rodgers so great. He sat behind Favre for what, 2-3 years?
3 years.
And they completely changed his mechanics.
Yep.
So I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. But I ain't gonna do this because that was dumb, Brett. You threw that right.
Exactly.
That's all he did for 2-3 years, man.
Yep. Yeah. But you know what though? Teams used to do that a long time ago. They used to sometimes sit their quarterbacks and let them learn the playbook and then put them out there. Now quarterbacks are put out there almost day one.
That's true.
Well, that's because you see the quarterbacks that have come out, and garner success early. When you talk about like Andrew Luck's, the RG3s, the Cam Newtons, that had phenomenal rookie seasons, and even still, it's a trend that's not going away because Joe Burrow had an awesome rookie year before he got hurt, but then you saw Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or Russell Wilson won the Super Bowl in the second year, even though that was more Legion of Boom and beast mode. But somebody had to quarterback the team.
Yeah.
So it's just like we're long gone. I'm not gonna say that because I think each player and each franchise that they go to, there should be a specific strategy. What I hate about the NFL is that everybody tries to do the same thing, and it's like no. Your team is not designed to do what that team does.
Yeah, that's true.
Biggest copycat league in pro sports.
When you draft a player, you need to have a plan for that player.
There's gotta be a plan.
And you know what? And I learned that from watching Dallas with their defensive players this year. Dan Quinn had a plan for each player he brought in, especially on the defensive line.
And if you
Parsons.
draft a player high, especially the quarterback, you cannot draft If
Listen,
you're drafting in the top 5 and you're drafting for a quarterback, your job is not to tell that quarterback you need to play this way.
I
Your
was gonna
job is
say,
to say we're going to take what you do well
Yep.
to help us win games.
I was gonna say the same
Play,
thing.
play call.
You're
Oh,
not
I'm
in
sorry.
any
Go ahead.
position.
I was gonna say the
You're
same
not in any
thing.
position to make that kind of call to say, well, we need him to play like this. No. The reason why you're drafting there and drafting a quarterback means that all the quarterbacks in your system did not work. Your
Yeah,
system does not work. You
yeah.
need to draft. You drafting this guy because you're saying we're going to take what you did well in college and we're going to implement it because we need your talent to help our team win.
Well, that's the thing. If you're drafting a quarterback high, that means you don't have a good quarterback on your roster or a really good
Yep.
quarterback on your roster,
Yep.
which is
And your
why you're
system
drafting it
wasn't good.
and your position. So you're drafting somebody high. They're not going to sit behind anybody because who you have starting obviously is good enough. So when you draft that high, you have to invest. You have to invest in protecting him and developing
I
him.
beg to
Chicago
differ, sir.
Bears.
I beg to differ, sir. I beg to differ. We drafted a quarterback really high that's just sitting on the bench.
Look.
He's sitting there.
Look.
I mean, for the most part, most
Well,
teams.
see, but see,
We-
your circumstance is different though, Eric. Your team, when healthy, is one of the more complete teams in football.
Facts.
And basically, what y'all said is the one position that kept us from winning a Super Bowl ring was our quarterback position. That's what
The
you're
one
saying.
position that kept us from winning a Super Bowl ring was a coach.
Coach, yeah, coach.
Because
I
y'all
agree.
know what I'm finna go in on. It was 6 minutes left in the game. You're up by 10 points. You got a running back that's averaging 5 yards a carry in the game. You open up the drive with a 5-yard run and then proceed to throw the rest of the way. Giving the ball back to one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the league. Kyle Shanahan.
Hey man, hey, he
Yes.
did the same. He did the same thing in Atlanta. He did the same
Yeah.
thing in Atlanta. It
Yep.
gave the ball right back to
Yep.
Brady.
28-3.
He is
Gave the
the
ball right back to
dumbest
Brady.
smart kid I know. He no common sense but will draw up a play that's like, whoa, where's the ball? But common sense, none. You get that ball to Raheem Mostert 3 or 4 times, we run out the clock. We probably score again because they weren't able to stop our running game. And we got a 6 Lombardi. But no. I'm gonna try to win the game on Jimmy Garoppolo's arm. The hell wrong with you? That's how we lost a lot of games this year. We just don't want to run the ball. Every time we look up the stat, we run the ball 40 times a game, we win. Every game we've won, except this one last week, because we got away with one. They gave the ball away. But every game that the 49ers won this year, they run the ball between 30 and 40 times. It ain't brain surgery.
Going back to drafting quarterback, I'm gonna just make this real quick. You need a play caller, you need protection, and you need the playmakers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean,
because a coach can ruin starting talking about play call. A coach can ruin a good quarterback.
Sure can.
Okay. And then bad if you got a good coach but you ain't got no protection, the boy gonna be shell shocked inside of week 8. Okay.
David Carr.
Thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth. David Carr was not a bad quarterback. The situation he was
David Carr spent more time looking at the sky than he did throwing the football.
And that's when they used to open the roof at Reliance. So yeah, he was looking at the sky.
Yeah, he was. He was. Yeah. Oh, I see clouds like it's going to rain.
Oh, look, there's a Southwest airline plane flying over.
Oh, I see a blimp.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting married.
And then when you're talking about playmakers, they didn't give David Carr anything until he was already spent. He didn't get Andre Johnson until he was spent.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, that's how you can ruin a quarterback. A guy, and then they want to call him a bust. They want to say he's sorry. And it's like, no, the situation he went into was terrible.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So let's I'm looking at the time, and I want to be able to close the show because we could probably sit here for a whole other hour just going over all this stuff, especially with Eric on. So and I told you it's a plethora of knowledge with some comedy when it comes to Eric, man. Eric, I'm gonna let you take the floor because I know you got your your picks,
All right.
and we'll go over a couple of them if we got any disagreements. So you go ahead, Eric. You got the floor.
I'm gonna go as fast as I can. So, all right. So I got the Chiefs over the Chargers, but this is gonna probably be the only really good, well contested game between two good teams. But I still got the Chiefs pulling away because their trajectory is going up. Even though the Chargers are better, that was the Giants last week, man. Come on. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the Browns over the Raiders because the Raiders, they're gonna try to play better next week. But after that beating, you still sore. Okay. And I think the Browns gonna pull that one out. So I got the well, here's my upset special. I got the Colts over the Pats. I like the Colts defense.
You know what?
I like that pick.
Yeah.
That's Saturday, actually.
That's intriguing.
We have two Saturday games. That's one of them.
Yeah, I want to talk about it just for fun.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I got the Titans over the Steelers because, yeah, man. Yeah, just come on, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in Pittsburgh. I don't know.
And they get Julio back too. They get Julio back this week.
Julio's gonna be back, and Tannehill's playing better football week by week. He gets a little bit better. That's the Adam Gase factor. I'm getting into that. But I got
Tristan's favorite coach.
I got the Bills over the Panthers because the Bills actually know who their quarterback is. So I got that one.
Okay.
And then I'm changing this pick. I'm going with the Eagles over the Washington football team because of all the injuries Washington has right now. In a sterile environment, they got everybody Washington boat races the Eagles. But they're just hurting too bad. In the Who Gives a Damn Bowl, I got the Jags over the Texans. Okay,
I'm surprised.
This is the somebody got to win this ish game. Okay, that's what this because it's that bad. It's just that bad. But I got the Jags over the Texans because the Texans are on the road. If they were in NRG, I give it to the Texans. Give me the girls over the Giants in a boat race. Okay. That's another I like you and I want you game. You about to see Dak Prescott. We're gonna be talking about next week how Dak Prescott has regained his form because he gonna throw for 400 yards on the Giants, and so he gonna run for 150 yards or whatever like that. Okay, but
don't be surprised.
That's me, Skip Bayless saying that. You can hear me saying that.
Yeah, I know, and I respect y'all for that. But you gonna hear the Cowboy fan contingent saying, "Yeah, we the boy." Shut up. That was the Giants. Okay. Give me the Cards over the Lions because it's the Lions, bro.
Yeah,
and it's
even though they play hard, even though they
play hard. Man, look here. We're gonna talk about that later. But the Lions play hard.
Yeah.
They play hard for they
that be a game. If someone wants to win some money, put money on the Lions in that game. That's how you can get rich.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm rooting for the Lions because I'm an NFC West. Hey, but I got the Dolphins over the Jets.
Yep.
Jets not ready for prime time yet. I got the Bengals over the Broncos because again the Bengals are just a better team right now.
Yep.
Here's the thing: I got the Falcons over the Niners because Kyle Shanahan will not learn from his mistakes. He feels vindicated by throwing the ball 50,000 times.
You know what?
Everybody's telling him run the ball. So he decided to throw the ball 50 times, and he won the game throwing it. No. So now, because he's so arrogant and stubborn, he about to put Jimmy Garoppolo out there with an empty backfield and throwing 50 times a game. And Jimmy gonna get the ball away, and he gonna lose to the damn Falcons.
I know what you do, Eric. I'm on to you.
What's that?
You had your bet. You always bet against the Niners, and they end up winning.
I really be feeling like we're gonna lose. Because when you got somebody that acts as retarded as Kyle Shanahan, nah, man. Because are we supposed to win that game? Yes. But with Kyle Shanahan, when he wake up in the morning, he wake up wanting to throw the ball.
Y'all gonna win that game, man.
You cannot win the Belmont Stakes with a jackass. Okay? You can pull a cart with a jackass, but you cannot win the Belmont or the Preakness or the Kentucky Derby with a jackass. And that's what Kyle Shanahan trying to do with Jimmy Garoppolo. When you recognize what Jimmy is, you can win stuff because you use him for what he's good.
Y'all gonna win that game, man.
Okay. All right. So I just don't have any faith. I don't have any faith at all in him doing the right thing. All right. So give me the Rams over the Seahawks because the Seahawks are wild, untamed trash, and the Rams starting to pick it up a little bit, And then give me the Bucks over the Saints.
Yeah.
And another who gives a damn ball. Give me the Vikings over the Bears. Okay,
Yeah.
because like really, I mean really, who gives
Does
a damn?
anybody
You
oppose?
skipped. Hold on, you skipped the Packers and the Ravens.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
I did. I got the pack over the Ravens. The Ravens too banged up, man. They just beat up.
All right.
In a sterile environment, if both of them was healthy, that'd be a hell of a game.
Yeah, what? Yeah, what?
But the Ravens are just too banged up.
Okay, let's talk about that Colts pass game.
okay.
Eric said he likes the defense. I agree. And I've been saying this, and I might have said it on
Love
here.
the defense. Love it.
The defensive coordinator is Matt Eberflus. He used to be our linebackers coach. I love the way he's running that Colts defense out there. If for some reason Dallas falls apart these last 4 games, which I doubt, and Mike McCarthy is gone, I want him as our head coach.
Mm.
So you want to get rid of Dan Quinn?
No, I ain't say give her to Dan Quinn. I said
So you want to bring in a defensive head coach, but keep your defensive coordinator? Because that would be a conflict of interest on schemes.
actually it would be. Dang.
Yeah, I'm not even.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. But anyway, I still like them. I still like their defense. Though. I
I
still like their defense. I really do.
That's
And
fair.
I got mad respect for Matt Eberflus as their defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I just really like that defense. And if they get pressure on fat ass Mac Jones, call it a day. You know.
So Eric, let me ask you this, Eric. Let me ask you
Yeah.
this real quick. So what happens? And I don't think it's gonna happen. I've been arguing with
Okay.
folks for the past couple weeks. What happens if Mac Jones? What happens if he gets to the AFC Championship?
It's highly probable because he got Bill Belichick coaching and Josh McDaniels is offensive coordinator. It's highly probable.
And that defense is disciplined and they don't make a lot of mistakes. And
Mac
they
Jones-
don't, and New England Patriots rarely get penalized.
And the running game.
Mac Jones could potentially be offensive rookie of the year this year, potentially.
Oh, he'll
and
get
the
that.
running game-
He'll get it.
Yeah, and the running game is so foolish, and when I mean that in a good way, that you can protect him. Basically,
Yes.
I done said this before. Mac Jones is a fatter, uglier Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay, but you have a coaching staff that understands that he needs to be pulling the donkey cart,
Well,
and he's not a racehorse. Okay, so they using him like he's a donkey pulling a cart. That's why he's having success. He's having.
yeah, and I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's limited. I think if he ever gets into a situation where he has to have a shootout with the team, I don't think he has what it takes.
Oh no, he's done. No, he's done.
Yeah.
He can't go out there and do like, let's say if Dak Prescott was playing against Kyler Murray and both the defense just what didn't show up and they just go back and forth. You're not gonna see that.
No.
You know, you're not gonna see Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. You know, you got Mac. I'm gonna give you an example. You got Mac Jones versus Jimmy Garoppolo. You're gonna see a whole bunch of errant passes and interceptions and sacks because they can't get out. They cannot get out the way. They both statues. They just need to be out there. Okay, that's what they need to do. Because I mean, they have no mobility and not a lot of arm strength and not a lot of accuracy. But
Right.
you throwing bubble screens, you throwing quick slants, you throwing quick something like that.
Yep.
The receivers make him look good. So yeah, he's an uglier, fatter Jimmy Garoppolo. And Belichick knew that when he drafted. He said, "Damn, I lost Garoppolo. I knew how I wanted to run this offense because Garoppolo would be killing right now if he was still in New England." Because Belichick got sense enough. I'm gonna run this ball, and when I need to throw it, I'm gonna make sensible calls to make him throw the ball.
That's a good
I
point.
ain't gonna put the ball in harm's way. You know, and plus my defense can erase a lot of the mistakes.
Yep.
True.
Yep.
True. Matt
that's
Judon
what I
balling, man.
Oh, Judon is killing folks, man. But that's why Mac Jones is having the success he's having is really a smokescreen and an allusion to the running game, the play calling, and how good the defense is.
I agree.
Well, gentlemen, we're going to close out with that. Listen, there's a lot more to talk, but again, we would end up being on here for a whole other hour, and I'm not going to do that to y'all.
Facts.
I'm not going to do that to myself. You know, I'm looking forward to what these games and unfold and how the results will be. We heard Eric's picks. Eric, thank you for joining us on the show. You
Always a
lived up to all
pleasure.
the hype.
I love
You
you,
did
man.
good, man.
Thank
I
you,
want to
thank
come
you.
back. I want to come back every week because I think I can do this now. I didn't cuss too much. I feel good.
You didn't curse at all, man. I'm impressed.
Listen, Eric, you lived up to all the hype that was surrounding you on being on this show, man. So
Definitely.
we greatly appreciate you. Thank you to
Thank
everybody that tuned into us. Listen, my MacBook is back up and running, so this episode will be up and out tomorrow. Look out for it on YouTube. Look out. You can also listen for it on any podcast stream that you use. Apple. You can use Apple Podcasts. You can use Spotify. Whatever podcast you use will be there. Also check us out on our Facebook page, YouTube channel. Check us out on Instagram.
Yep.
Just type in just a fan podcast. We will pop up.
Yep.
And I appreciate everyone for tuning in. That tuned in. Appreciate all the comments that came through. Eric definitely had his following come through and talk, so that was definitely good to see. And yeah, we might have to bring Eric on a couple times. Make him one of our
Hey, man,
little
it's
guest
Sure.
regulars, man. Because
I'm free next Tuesday. I'm free next Tuesday.
Hey, matter of fact, all right, one more thing. I want to get Eric in also during the off season when we have to talk draft stuff too as well, and
Oh,
even
for
off
sure,
season
yes.
stuff and
I
off season
love-
stuff. Yeah. So we have to
Sure.
get.
I study film like I get paid. So yes.
Absolutely, we'll definitely have him on for that. So until next week, guys, y'all be safe, be blessed, and let's enjoy football. Y'all peace.